with 15 points, but Isaiah Thomas 0 for 1. A very low-key first half, and we were speculating, wondering whether there is anything wrong physically with Isaiah Thomas. Ahmad was able to check it out at the Detroit bench. What'd you find out?
All right, Marv, I talked to Isaiah. There's nothing wrong with him. He hopes to get in the flow the second half. He's only taken one shot in the first half, but he's fine physically.
Ahmad taking a shot from Jake O'Donnell. And Ahmad had position, it should be pointed out. Third quarter underway. Thomas and Dumars at the guards. Rodman with Edwards and Laimbeer up front. Edwards with the fadeaway. Rodman on the rebound. And the foul called on Cartwright.
I'm sure Chuck Daly mentioned at halftime the fact that the #1 rebounding team in the NBA, the Pistons, were out-rebounded that first half 24-13 by the Bulls.
Here's Thomas. Yes. Isaiah with his first field goal. So the Bulls with a 45-39 lead. At one point, Chicago led by 12. They opened up 20-8. Rodman able to knock it away. Dennis Rodman, so unique according to Chuck Daly, because all he wants to do is defend and rebound, and he's been doing that. Edwards with a good play, tying up Jordan.
Edwards thought it was a steal. Jake O'Donnell said, wait a minute, he put the ball in your hands. That's a jump ball. Good double team by the Pistons. We mentioned earlier in the game, they're going after Jordan right away with the next closest defensive player to force him to give it up.
And as you mentioned earlier, the Pistons going away from what they call the Jordan rules. Jordan rules designed to double and triple Michael Jordan. Isaiah Thomas not able to hit. Rebounded by Cartwright. And Thomas stole it. It's a backcourt violation. Edwards in the backcourt and then jumped over.
After Isaiah Thomas stole the basketball, he came back down, inbounds. This is now the front court. He's established position. This is now the backcourt on James Edwards.
And you have heard from time to time the reference to the Jordan rules designed to double and triple up on Michael Jordan, challenging the other Bulls to beat them as Pippen was able to hit for his second field goal. The Jordan rules basically show lack of respect for Jordan's teammates. In effect, the Pistons would show lack of respect for the shooting touch of the other players, but they feel that has changed. Illegal defense now called for the first time.
Well, in the past, what the Pistons would say is, look, Michael Jordan is capable of getting 50, 60 points on a given night. Make the other players step up and have to make big shots with a lot of pressure on them. But now Chuck Daly says the problem is those other players have done it the entire season for him.
Thomas looking to get back into it offensively was blocked. Pippen changed his mind. Paxson. Grant. And he is fouled. Laimbeer does not like the call. And Jake O'Donnell quick to rush over to cut off Horace Grant, who was about to go at one of the Pistons. Laimbeer picked up his third.
Well, the Pistons have come out in the second half, obviously more aggressive. They know they've got to do a better job on the glass. And Grant doesn't like the contact there by Pippen after the whistle, so he decides to go after him. Little elbow, right elbow there by Dennis Rodman.
Horace Grant, very quiet today. 1 for 1 for the field. And now 2 out of 3 from the foul line. Horace came up very strong last Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. This after he took some abuse on Friday night over the bench. Phil Jackson felt that Horace should have been more aggressive against the Sixers in the game on Friday night. And Sunday afternoon he did turn it around in that department. Laimbeer. Triple bump by Laimbeer.
You know, we mentioned earlier that Scottie Pippen was only 1 for 10 in Game 7 last year of the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, I'm sure Grant remembers also. He was 3 for 17 in that game as well. The two forwards really struggled in that big game.
And that is a reach-in on Lane Beer. Very theatrical in his reaction, and fortunate that a technical foul was not called as he picks up his fourth.
That's the third time so far this game that Bill Laimbeer has had some type of reaction towards Jackie Neese. The next one, I'd say it's going to cost him a technical.
Mark Aguirre getting set to return. And Pippen called for a charge. That's 3 on Pippen. And Scottie Pippen with words at the official, Jess Kersey. A lot of debating of calls going on throughout this contest. Thomas able to hit and a foul. Isaiah Thomas will go to the line. Michael Jordan called for his third. And Isaiah now getting into it offensively.
Changing up rather than stay with the perimeter game. The outside shot, he decides to take it to the basket. Opportunity here to complete the three-point play.
5 points for Isaiah, and the Pistons are within 5. Seven on the shot clock. Here's Cartwright. Good play by Thomas, getting it over to Aguirre.
Isaiah Thomas came from the backcourt that time to keep that alive and get it to his teammate.
Foul called on Thomas. Try to put the brakes on and slam into Paxson. A rough go recently, physically, for John Paxson, involved in a collision during practice with guess who? Bill Cartwright the other day. In fact, Paxson told us he will get Cartwright in some manner. And he's had a bruised hip. Good fake by Pippen. But he is now 2 for 8.
And he had Rodman in the air that time. A tremendous recovery by Rodman to avoid the contact.
Aguirre off the bench to convert. 7 for 10. He has 15.
And it was a real good substitution by Chuck Daly, getting Laimbeer out of there at a time where maybe he was a little frustrated, had the officials looking at him a little bit too close.
Scottie Pippen going glass. He has 10. The Bulls 51. The Pistons 46. And things beginning to heat up here in the third quarter. Aguirre had it knocked away by Pippen. Scottie Pippen able to soar over Isaiah Thomas, but could not hit. Aguirre from downtown. Grant from Paxson.
Big turnaround right there. Pistons had numbers on the fast break. Isaiah elected to go back out with the pass, try and hit Aguirre for the three-pointer. Instead, a conversion by the Bulls at the other end.
Bulls by 7. Dumars for 3. Yes. Joe Dumars with his 15th three-pointer of the playoffs. He had only 14 during the regular season. It is a 4-point Chicago lead. Cartwright changed his mind, but he went up and down. Left his feet.
Cartwright starts to take the jumper, but Edwards challenges, flies at it. Cartwright picks up that right foot, which was the pivot foot, resulting travel.
Bulls 53, Pistons 49. We'll be back in Chicago in a moment.